The NFL's back and you're looking to bet it, but you don't know who to listen to. Well, don't sweat it, cause if you thought Saratoga Slim's good at the tracks, well, the NFL's where he makes way more racks. Slim Pickins for NFL free picks. Slim Pickins for your gambling fix. Slim Pickins. If making money's your passion, then you're in the right place. Now get ready to cash it.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to the debut episode of Slim Pickins and Adamo NFL Picks. What is up, Mr. Chris Adamo? I want to introduce you to the world. You have been one of my good friends for over 20 years. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Beck. It's been a good run. We spanned 3 decades of fantasy sports together. I'm a Miami-based guy. I've been investing in the sports world for a while, a bunch of stuff in the Web3 space, a couple things that you may have heard of called League DAO, Swoops, Dapper Labs that have made NBA Top Shot. I'm all around DGen. So I've been wagering on my picks for 20 years now, mostly in fantasy, but pretty much the same thing on prop bets. I have a couple championships in our home league, me and you, amongst I think about 12 leagues this year. So it's a bit heavy on the risk out there. So I'm pumped to talk to you about what our views are on week 4, and we have been doing the past couple of weeks. And it's a crazy slate this week. It's been a really rough week for Florida overall. I'm in Miami, so we were hurricane freaked out, and it avoided us. But man, Tampa and St. Pete and Fort Myers just got actually sloshed. So I hope those folks are on the recovery end of things. And our boy Tua, oh man, just heartbreaking to see that guy go back-to-back weeks with who knows what is wrong with him. Reports say he's doing okay today, so that's great. And the guy's walking around feeling good. So hey, hopefully he avoided life-threatening injuries, and maybe he's back on the field. We don't know, but if I'm him, I'm taking my time, man. I'm chilling out. Enjoy your contract for a little bit. Take your time. So yeah,
no doubt.
It hurts.
Our thoughts go out to everyone in Florida that's dealing with Hurricane Ian that came through, devastated so many places. So if anyone down there watching this, hopefully this next 30 minutes of this show will take you away from what's really going on in your life. What this show is about is we're trying to build a community here where we could talk about player prop picks in the NFL and try to beat the house. We want to learn from each other. We want to give you some picks to think about. And, if you play them and they win, give us a commission. But, if they don't win, well, don't be tweeting at me. But anyway, I'm just kidding. No, we're going to be trying to give out winners and give out the wagering strategy on how to approach this on a weekly basis. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis, and I'll be doing some shows with the Racing Dudes throughout the week. We're going to go through our top picks. Last week, Chris, you were in Los Angeles. You were at the Chargers game, and we're going to start off by talking about one of your picks that we didn't win last week. We had some good ones last week and the week before. We were 6 for 7 in week 2 when we were doing this over Twitter Spaces. We've moved it to the live streaming on YouTube, so hit a like down below if you're liking this video. If you're watching this on Twitter, you're watching this on Facebook, give us some comments. Tell us what picks you like for week number 4. You were out in Los Angeles at the Chargers game. Tell us a little bit about the guy you bet on last week and what he did.
Well, I thought it was going to be a game where we'd see a ton of Elker. We did, but he kind of didn't go anywhere. So he just missed his over on total yards, receiving and rushing. But not to say, I think this week he's going to maybe do it again. I mean, we have a big opportunity here with Herbert banged up, playing against a defense that is not the best in Houston. They get destroyed on the ground. This is one of your best bets, I think, Spec. And I tend to think let's run it back again. I think we're due here. Let's double down.
So we are talking about Austin Eckler of the Los Angeles Chargers. Last week, the game that Chris went to, he had 4 carries for 5 yards. So I'm coming back this week over 56.5 yards after the guy got 5 yards in week 3. Well, you know why? He is playing against the Houston Texans. This is in Houston, but Houston has been absolutely brutalized the last 3 weeks. Last week, Khalil Herbert led the league in rushing against the Houston Texans. I told you guys to play him the over. That was one of my best bets last week. Loved him there. And I love Eckler here with the over 56.5. As you said, Justin Herbert is nursing those ribs. He has fractured cartilage on his ribs. So how much is he going to really want to throw the ball against a team that can't stop the run? The week before that, Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon rushed all over him. They gave up 161 yards on the ground to Jonathan Taylor a few weeks back. So I really like Austin Eckler to finally get some rushing yards this week and go over that 56.5. You said you like the 38.5 receiving yards at the Texans. So tell us what you think about that.
I think he's going to get a bunch of short, kind of check down passes from Herbert since he's banged up, and that's his boy. Last week they didn't use him the right way and they got slaughtered. It was just an absolute like a slugfest from the Jacksonville Jaguars. By the way, sneaky good this year. Watch out for those Jags. I think that he'll get a bunch of passes in the pass game because just that's where he exceeds. His rushing is good, but his pass catching is great. And they're going to have to rely on him with Keenan Allen out and Mike Williams being here and there, not too sure what's happening there, and the other receivers are if. So, I think it's going to be a bunch of Eckler either on the ground or probably more on the air.
Yeah, as you say here, 38.5 yards receiving. I'm showing the screen here on the Racing Dudes website. You can get all of these stats. Just go down the scores and you can type in any player you want. 48 yards rushing. 48 yards on 8 catches last week, 55 the week before that on 9 catches, 36. So he went over the 38.5 yards 2 of the 3 weeks this year. And the other week he was 36. So he's a few short. But yeah, always Eckler out of the backfield. Always a good option. So we're going to move to the big game of the week, though. And everyone's looking forward to seeing this one. It is the Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens, and I really, really like Lamar Jackson passing TVs over 1.5. It's a plus 120, which is really weird to see on such a – he's leading the league with 10 passing touchdowns. He's had 3, 3, and 4 passing touchdowns in the 3 weeks this year. So Lamar Jackson, the best player in the game right now, won the offensive player of the month for September. So using him against a banged up Buffalo Bills secondary. Jordan Poyer may be back, but they lost Micah Hyde for the year. Those are their 2 starting safeties. So they are down 1 safety for the rest of the year. They have a lot of rookies and second-year players back there. They signed Xavier Rhodes, 32 years old. Who knows how washed up he is. And if he can come and also come back from, being on the couch last week. And also Lamar Jackson has his left tackle back this week. Ronnie Stanley will be coming back for the Ravens. So I'd like that about Lamar. Who else you like in that game?
I love that pick. I think it's going to be an absolute point, fest over there. It's going to be, I think over on that game probably is going to be a great bet as well. I would take Lamar all day. On the other side of the ball, I love Diggs for the over. I think he's going to be peppered with receptions. Having Davis all banged up at his ankle again, who knows? I think it's going to be a Diggs week. It's Diggs season, as we say. I think it's going to be a big game for him. And then I think you also like the same guy on that side of the field as well, right?
Yeah, so that's why I put it up on the screen there. Josh Allen over 285 yards passing and the Diggs over 83.5 yards receiving. Both can go over. You like the Diggs side of it. I like the Josh Allen side of it. That's a possible parlay if you want to try to double down there. They're both negative 115 on the boards right now. That's the odds you're getting. So, yeah, I mean, Ravens are giving up the most passing yards in the NFL this year. They are just bleeding in the secondary. Their pass rush is not there, and it's pretty drastic how many more yards they've given up than everyone else in the NFL.
Wow.
They get possibly the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, it's those 3 in my mind. It's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. So they get one of the best top 3 quarterbacks coming into their house. Josh Allen 285. He passed for 400 yards last week, so he can do it pretty easily. This is going to be a shootout. I saw the under and over as high as 52.5. I think it came down to 51. So this is one of the higher over and unders for the week.
Yeah, I love that pick. I'm pumped with the game too. Something to look forward to in a crazy week of news around the NFL and just in real life. So hopefully it's a good distraction for us.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, especially what's going down in Florida. But we're going to move up north to Seattle at Detroit, another game that has a high total. I think it's 48.5 I've seen for the Seattle and the Detroit. In Detroit, their defense is just horrible, but their offense is really good. So they're getting in shootouts every week, and they're playing against the Seattle Seahawks that honestly have one of the worst defenses possibly this decade. They are ranked last in Pro Football Focus's defensive rankings. Their tackling, I think, is one of the worst also. And they get Jamal Williams coming in, who's riding a hot streak. And without DeAndre Swift, he's going to get the bulk of the carries. Jamal Williams over 60 yards rushing and an anytime touchdown. It's only plus 145 playing the two-part parlay, but that is my parlay of the week because Seattle just sucks. Jamal Williams is going to get a lot of opportunities, and it's going to be a shootout. There's going to be a lot of scoring. No Amon-Ra St. Brown, or as I said, and DeAndre Swift. So they're really going to be leaning on Jamal Williams. But you say you like someone else that the Detroit Lions might be leaning on. Tell us about that, Chris.
I'm a big fan of Josh Reynolds. I think he is like the mini Amon St. Brown on this team. And you saw last week he got the bulk of the targets, even when he was banged up on the other side of the ball. So I think Reynolds is a nice pick, a sneaky pick probably for everybody on that side. And then also I think Craig Reynolds may get a bunch of looks on the ground and also in the pass game. I mean, he may actually fill that Swift role that I think they're looking for because they don't want to give Jamal Williams too many carries. He's a bit on the older side. I love him in Hard Knocks, but you got to temper his workload. So I think those two could be interesting. And then also on the other side of the ball, I think Penny can have a nice game. Detroit has been getting crushed on the ground, 6 TDs in 3 weeks, also a ton of yards. Penny it seems like the bulk of the carries go to him on the Seattle side, and they like to establish the run. So I think this defense is probably the easiest way to get to him is on the ground, and they're probably do a bunch of him in the first half, and hopefully it works out and to stay somewhat close since a lot of the weapons are kind of out. So those are kind of like my long shots.
Yeah, I like Penny. I've heard a lot of people talking about Penny this week having a big game at the Lions. And, it's going to be a shootout. And if they're giving up those rushing touchdowns, maybe Penny touchdown run could get mixed in there. I know people are also even talking about Geno Smith as a possibility. I can't bet money on Geno Smith, but people are talking about Geno having a good game. So there might be a lot of scoring and a lot of yards in that game, the Seahawks at the Lions. As we move back to the East Coast and the Steelers, you were at the Steelers game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they get a guy coming in. They got the Jets coming in, and they got a guy that I am so excited for. I am a big Jets fan, and they got a guy, Garrett Wilson. I'm betting the anytime touchdown is plus 230. I think I saw someplace it was plus 250. And you think I'm nuts because Zach Wilson's coming back. He's going to be rusty. This is his first game of the year. Garrett Wilson has been playing great with Joe Flacco as his quarterback. And I think that Zach Wilson has to be better than Joe Flacco. What do you think?
I don't think so. First game back, Flacco was pretty good, really good for Garrett Wilson, honestly. Zach Wilson's guy, if you remember last year, was Moore, and Moore is back and healthy as well. So, I think I respect your view on this, but I'm going to have to say that's a risky bet, and it's paying out like it is. So, you know what? If you feel it, you do it, baby.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it as a Jets fan that I want to win money on the first Wilson to Wilson touchdown. Wilson cubed. No, Wilson squared. Cubed would be 3 Wilsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been drinking too many White Claws, so
we'll
I'm already like, what are you drinking, by the way? You drinking
This is mamitas. This is a little Latin vibe, tequila and soda.
Oh my God. I took a shot of tequila on Tuesday night. I was out drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning in New York City. It was a rough time, but that's why I'm talking about the New York Jets here. I'll tell you this. Zach Wilson said about Garrett Wilson, he's a freak. He's hard to stay in front of. And 2 weeks ago, when he had 2 touchdowns against the Browns, Cleveland Browns cornerback DJ Reed said, Garrett Wilson has that Justin Jefferson vibe. They're comparing him already. He's a big body. He had 18 touchdowns in his last 19 games at Ohio State, just a touchdown machine. And that's why I like the anytime touchdown. Yeah, Elijah Moore may have more receiving yards, but I think when it comes to the red zone, this Garrett Wilson just got the body to get it done. We're going to stay in New York. As I said, I was drinking heavily in New York this week. It was a horrible situation, but the Giants are home again. It was also a horrible situation had the Giants lost on Monday Night Football. They absolutely suck. After going 2-0 to start the year, all Giants fans were very high on them, and they let us down horribly. And they get this guy coming into town, Khalil Herbert, the hottest running back in football, possibly, after leading the league in rushing in week 3. He is going to get the full lion's share of the carries again with David Montgomery out. Right now, we don't know if Leonard Williams is going to be playing for the Giants. I think he may be out. He's their best run stopper up front. So tell us a little bit about Khalil Herbert going over this week.
Herbert's a beast. He's the best running back in that backfield by far. He was the best running back last year, but they didn't give him the ball enough. He's going to shred the Giants. I'm a Giant fan. The Giants are not good at defense or offense. But I don't know how they're 2-1, honestly. It's called Saquon Barkley, and they got to get that guy the ball way more. I don't know what they're doing. They should be giving that guy 20 carries plus like 10 targets a game. Daniel Jones and his runs, just dump it off to Saquon. He can probably go double as far as you can go, and then probably rip a big touchdown. So like it's got to change for that team. It's frustrating to watch them. It's really painful to watch them, actually. So yeah, I think Herbert's going to shred the Giants up. I could see him going over 100 yards, probably a touchdown. And the Bears, they just don't pass the ball. They just don't trust their quarterback, which is strange because he has a great arm, and I think he could be good if they just give him a little more room. But they're just really timid with him. So a lot of running. It's going to be a lot of, the Giants is iffy. So, yeah, Herbert all the way. I have him on my leagues, starting him on my leagues. So I'm all in on this guy.
Yeah, I have Herbert in our league. I went all in on a few dudes, and then we did an auction in our league, and I got that dude for $1 at the end, Khalil Herbert. So I just want to look like he's going to be awesome, and I just hope David Montgomery really never comes back. But he does. They say David Montgomery might have a high ankle sprain. That's usually that's a 6 weeks, 2 to 3 week thing. Maybe it's 6 weeks. Hopefully it's 6 weeks because Herbert. I mean, he was just destroying the Texans last week. But on the Giants side of the ball, we have some crazy thoughts. So we're going through these things, and we're just kind of putting out thoughts. What we'll do later in the weekend, we're gonna put out our tweets of our best 5 picks. We'll tweet them out. We'll retweet them. So we'll try to bring these down. We're going to give our best bet at the end of this show also. So hit the like button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit us up on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are in the description and all that. So 2 Giants fans talking about 2 Giants. We got Richie James, bitch. Richie James, over 44 yards and a half receiving. Richie James, bitch. Richie James, by the way, he's like the only receiver left on the team right now.
And he has great hair, just like Rick James had.
God, his hair is like 6 tentacles coming out.
It's like 10 colors. I'm like, what am I watching? What is this, a Cabbage Patch doll out there? What's going on?
He has some haircut, and he's the number 1 receiver for the Giants. So 44.5 yards. If Daniel Jones could do anything, and you said you added this Daniel Jones over 31.5 yards rushing. Definitely. I don't know. There's no one else on the team.
There's no one throw the ball too. It's Saquon and it's Rick James. That's all we got. I mean, I can't even name you the other people. David Sills, like, come on, but he's gonna get the ball, but he's just not. He's not a dominant guy. He's gonna get like 5 or 6 catches for like 34 yards. So yeah, I think Daniel Jones thinks he's freaking Lamar Jackson. So whatever, you bet it, you probably don't win it.
Daniel Jones over rushing him. These are thoughts. I probably won't do either one of these things, but I like the Richie James because I'll be watching the game. I'll be watching Khalil Herbert. And if they fall behind, I don't know how the Giants could fall behind to the Bears, but
they'll find a way.
These are two bad teams. So we'll see if there's some passing in the second half and Richie James goes over. All right. We got to talk about another guy that is a classic dude we always talk about, and we got the Dortch watch going on. He is at the Panthers. So as I say, I keep on betting on Greg Dortch of the Arizona Cardinals. He's a wide receiver. His name is Greg Dortch, and it rhymes with Borch. I got to get it out. So Borch, this is like the grossest crap. So I said I will bet on Greg Dortch every week that Rondale Moore is out, and I've hit the over on him 2 weeks in a row. This week, Rondale Moore is listed as questionable. Marquise Brown is listed as questionable. Dortch had a back injury earlier in the week. Cliff Kingsbury said that he wants to get James Conner more involved. I don't know if I'm going to go with Dortch this week. There's a lot of things stacking up against him.
If he plays, though, he's going to be the only somewhat dependable guy on that team because they're probably definitely missing AJ Green. He's out.
AJ Green is out. Very good. Yep.
Moore is probably out as well. He's not playing this week. And, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Brown. But Brown had like 20 million targets last week. So God knows what's happening there. Kyle had 58 pass attempts. That's insane. And they're probably going to be throwing the ball a lot again this week too. So, Dortch is a good pick. I would take a chance on him.
You want me to eat the borscht. That's why you're saying
totally do.
Pick, because I'm going to bet on Dortch. For the third week in a row, he's going to finally lose. And if he does lose, I will be eating the borscht on the next Slim Pickens and Adamo show. If it's at possibly 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. in the afternoon on a Friday or Friday night, we will see. Friday Night Lights. We sometimes do have a life on Friday night. So we try to get this done at the end of the workday on Fridays. So keep on following us on Twitter. And when we go live, turn on notifications on the Dude's YouTube channel. You'll see us pop up. So I want to end it off with, you got 3 picks in 2 different games. We're going to go to your picks. Christopher Adamo. Let's go to the Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys in NFC East matchup, and you like some unders because we've been talking about overs, but sometimes, most of the time I heard the unders hit more. So we want to talk about strategy, wagering strategy. So we should be targeting unders. I tried to bet the Zeke under in the first week. He beat me by like 3 yards. It pissed me off to no extent. You want to get Zeke under. This is home to the Commanders, under 14.5 rushing attempts. That seems high. That really does. I don't know if he's going to get that many carries. And under 13 receiving yards. I should say yards. Sorry, I will change that.
Yeah, I think there's a change in the guard happening, and I think Pollard's going to be worked in a lot more. I think Zeke had 13 attempts last 2 weeks in a row, and I think it's going to probably stay a little under there. And the Commanders are good, a decent, they have some pep in their step on offense. So I think they're going to be a little better than most people think in this game. It'll be close because they're playing, 2 NFC teams. So I think that less for Zeke will be seen, more passing for Rush, and he's not getting the ball in the air. I think he has like 1 target every week this year. So, Pollard's a guy on targets for running backs. I think just Zeke is like toast. So yeah. I'm not touching him. I don't want any part of that guy.
This could be a decent 2-part parlay. Just play against Zeke that neither one of these happen. And I think there's a low probability that he gets that many carries. Wentz has been passing the ball like crazy. I could see this game getting into some passing in the second half. Cooper Rush doesn't seem too bad. I mean, he looked decent enough against the Giants. So, he's been getting the ball out there to CD and some of the other receivers. They got Gallup back. I think Dalton Schultz is healthy now, so they're going to have some options. So they'll be passing the ball and probably not relying too much on Zeke if that game gets going. So Commanders, Cowboys, not the most exciting, high-scoring game of the week, so a good game to go under. And we got a game, let's go way back. Well, actually, the first NFL game of the weekend, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. we have the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints out in London. And you like Kirk Cousins if he didn't get COVID when he goes over to London. I don't know what the case count is in London right now, but if he makes it to the game without getting COVID, since he's had COVID like 3 times since the breakouts have happened. So, but you like Cousins over 1.5 passing touchdown. Tell us why you like Cousins.
Yeah, I think Cousins is gonna have a big day. As you said last night, they're playing on a very fast turf. I think the Vikings are a superior team on the offensive side of the ball versus the Saints. And traveling that far is not good for anybody. It's probably better for the offense than it is the defense. And they have a fast team. So I'm thinking touchdown to Thielen and Jefferson in this game. So I think 2 touchdowns is a pretty safe bet. So I take that 2 all day. 1.5 is a great place to be at with him. Cook's banged up still, so I'm going to see only half of him and half of Mattinson. So I think that Cousins is a really safe bet in my eyes to go over that 1.5 touchdown level.
Yeah, last night on the Thursday night halftime show that I do with Mike Samich, Samo Bombs, he picked Minnesota giving 2.5. It already went up to 3.5 after it was announced that Andy Dalton and Alvin Kamara Andy Dalton is out. So Andy Dalton is starting. Jameis Winston is out. Michael Thomas is out also for them. So we're going to talk about these guys that you want to go under on. So we got some Saints unders. We're talking about Andy Dalton going under and Alvin Kamara. Let's talk about some of these lines.
Yeah, I think Dalton's not going to have a big day passing. Minnesota has a pretty good defense as well, especially their DBs. So I think he's going under, and Kamara's going to definitely go under in rushing yards. Probably more passing yards for him than anything else. Dalton's going to be lots of checkdowns. He's going to be scared for his life. Hasn't played in a 1.5 years. So I think it's going to be Kamara all day in the air. So I think under on rushing yards for him.
Under rushing yards, under on Dalton passing. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be in big trouble. Minnesota, though, I don't think they have that great of a defense passing-wise. I've seen them get ripped up by Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is not Andy Dalton.
Exactly.
So, Andy Dalton's been a backup the last 2 or 3 years, and it's for a reason. He's washed, and we'll see if he has anything left. People are comparing him coming in for Jameis, comparing how Bridgewater came in for Tua. I don't know if Andy Dalton is as good as Bridgewater. I mean, we could talk about that. I have no idea.
Neither. Out on both. I mean, honestly, yeah. So they're both pretty aging veterans at this point in a pinch. So, yeah, those guys, I'm not in. All right, let's wrap it up. The last game of the week on Sunday Night Football. Kansas City, the Bucks, Mahomes and Brady's, not the old Mahomes and Brady's. I think they've both kind of been changing, especially Brady. Not as exciting as it used to be. This game, I'm not touching. I have no idea what's happening in this game. I don't know who's playing for the Bucks anymore. Everyone's questionable, and the whole new look offense for Kansas City, they're all kind of question marks as well. Maybe Kelsey, only guy I trust to over his yards.
Yeah, it's crazy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got 7 carries last week. So I don't know what's going on with them. Obviously, Mahomes even said before the beginning of the year that every guy will be getting his week there. So really can't trust anyone but Kelsey. And, yeah, you don't know how healthy Julio is, or Mike Evans coming back off suspension. So he should be pretty good. Godwin, you have no idea how healthy he is. So it's very difficult. I think Brady's going to have a pretty good game because Kansas City's pretty bad through the air on defense. So I could see myself, if I'm putting out a pick, follow me on Twitter at Saratoga Slim, because I'll be putting out picks right before the games. And I really want to see, I don't think I could bet on anything right now. A lot of times the Sunday night games, the lines don't come out until about this time on Friday. So I'll take a look at those lines, but without knowing Julio Jones and Godwin and how healthy they are, really difficult to bet that game, but it'll be exciting. It might be the last time we see Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, and it's kind of like the passing of the torch. They did play each other in the Super Bowl, right? A couple of years ago, I remember.
Yeah.
So obviously the rematch of the Super Bowl from a few years back when Brady beat them, I believe, right? Is that when Brady beat them? Yes. So we're going to close out the show. What is we gave it a lot of good bets here.
Many.
We gave out so many. We're going to have to, when you guys wager, we just gave you guys some ideas. I'm really saying, look at the unit structure. I really want to talk about that. I have an article on the Racing Dudes website about unit structure. Think how much you want to bet for that week. If it's $100, say, hey, I want to make 5-6 bets, a couple $20 bets, a couple $10 bets, and I'll hit my $100 for the week. So really try to limit your bets to your best 5 or 6 opinions for the week. Give yourself some fun to, watch some of the Sunday night football games, throw whatever, one unit is. So each unit should be, if you had $100 budget and you want to make 6 or 7 bets, it should be like $10 or $10 or $20 bets. If you got $1,000 budget, there's $100, $200 bets. Hopefully you do well and you have a nice bank account. So never, ever, bet too much than your bank account has. But, we want to make some money. So what is your best bet of the week, Mr. Chris Adamo?
If I had to put it all on one thing, it would be Herbert against the Giants. That guy is going to shred them up. So all in on that guy.
All right, there it is. I put the question mark there. So over 75.5 yards, maybe add on a touchdown anytime to get that nice parlay, 2-part parlay. Yeah, Khalil Herbert's going to have a big game. I'm going to say my best bet of the week. I'm going to go with the best player right now in football, Lamar Jackson. Passing TDs over 1.5. I can't believe it's plus 120. It's minus 160 on the under for some reason. I don't know why it's being juiced to that side. Maybe because J.K. Dobbins is back. They think he'll have a rushing touchdown. There might be enough passing and touchdowns in this game where you'll see the final score 38-34 or something. They might score 5 touchdowns. So 2 of them being in the air from Lamar. I think it's a pretty good bet. And with plus 120, you could bet $50 on it and get back. And you can win $60 on that. So that's a pretty nice bet. That's what I'm looking to do. For Slim, Saratoga Slim, that's me. Follow me at Saratoga Slim. Chris Adamo, what's your Twitter handle, sir?
At Chris Adamo _
At Chris Adamo _ Subscribe to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Hit like on this video. Turn on notifications so when we go live, you're going to get all the good Racing Dudes. We got big racing over the weekend at Belmont Park, the Woodward, and the Champaign. We got videos up on the website about that. And, I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm going to be sometime in the noon hours giving a recap of the week. And we'll take a look at the Monday Night Football game and look forward to week 5. But we got to get through week 4 first. And hopefully we'll get some winners. You got any last words for the crowd out there, Christopher?
Enjoy the weekend of football and keep us in your thoughts down here in Florida. And Tua, man, we're thinking about you, buddy. We love you.
On that note, peace.
See ya.